that first time in Como, the first one. When my maestro made a wonderful master class, and it was just finished the conservatory and went there, and he opened me a new way to think to the double bass. And I hear for the first time your sound, and I decided that the bass was really, really beautiful. That's true.
Thank you.
Thank you. That. You know,
and that. You remember we all vomited together every morning outside?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember every moment because it was wonderful to me. Yeah, I remember. Yes, I remember you were standing where was a tree, and you were playing Bach second prelude from the second suite. That I play at that time 1 octave down. I remember also that. And you tell me, why don't you play one? I remember everything. I don't know if it is my memories or this thing. And then after that, one day I received in the 2001 the invitation to come to the USA to play.
I'll get the arrow off.
In Butler University. And that I meet every one of you. David Murray was the first person that I found that just arrived. And then all the friends that I think I don't see everyone here, because if I found maybe I lost someone, so I stay. I know I learned with Zoom, I have to stay quiet and don't touch too many things, if not disappear everything.
Alberto Bottesini was also there in Lake Como, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But we were for the most all Italian at that time. Yeah. A lot of Italian people.
And what is this with Italians? They're all playing pear-shaped basses. You played one. Alberto played one. I loved your bass. Tell us about your bass.
My bass is supposed to be a Ruggeri, but nothing is written inside. So you can know it's Italian for sure, because a lot of you look at my bass and say that it's Italian, and it's from the 18th century. This is true. But about the name, someone said that, but I'm not sure what it is. I know that I like the sound, and that's the most important thing for me. I like it plays.
I loved I loved your video and all your lyrical playing. You're an opera singer. You're an Italian opera singer on the bass.
Yeah, but it's your fault, Gary. It's your fault.
No, it's you're such a wonderful musician.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Where did you find your bass? It's really a wonderful.
Yeah, this is a strange story, because it was destroyed, but I found it completely, like it restored, but it comes from Venice. It was in Venice. One double bass player from the Fenice Theater found it completely destroyed in Venice, and they make a restoration very good, not 1 liter. And then at the end, he didn't want to sell this bass, but he need money to open a restaurant, because he want to change work, and he need the money, a lot of money. So at the end, they said, "Do you want this bass?" And they say, "Yeah, I like it very much." And they bought, because he need money, and it was fine to me to find that bass. And that time, my father gave me, because I was young, not all that money. My father helped me with the money, and I still remember that. It was a very, very beautiful gift from him. I remember that with pleasure. Not the only one. He made a lot of gift to me, my father.
How lucky you are.
Yeah, I was lucky. Yeah. It was lucky.
I'm sure other people have questions they want to ask you.
Stefano, can you tell us how you came to the bass?
I can't hear you. Sorry.
How did you begin the bass? What drew you to the bass?
How old? I was 16.
And why the bass?
Why the bass? This is funny. Yeah. Why the bass? Because I was not a very, very good student at the high school. So I finished the high school for a kind of miracle. And then always my father said, asked me, do you want to go to the university? And I say, no, I don't want to go to the university. What do you like to do? I like to play. I say, you see, because I already play the guitar. So I didn't know anything, and then my father went to the conservatory. And he was friend of the director of the conservatory, and he asked him if there were some free places to enter the conservatory. And there was a bassoon and double bass. And I was playing guitar and electric bass. So not me, but my father chose for me double bass. So I didn't decide to choose double bass. Then I have to say the truth. And the first 2 years, I didn't like the sound of the bass because it was not so beautiful at the beginning to play open strings with the sound, to learn the bow. And I was not so sure to continue to be a double bass player. But then I changed conservatory because I went there where there was a good maestro that plays very good with good students, and I hear new sounds because I always be interested in the sound of the bass. This is the first thing to me. And at the beginning, it was not beautiful because I was not able to try to find a good sound alone. So after 2 years, I begin to listen a beautiful sound, and still I'm here playing. That's the story. But I didn't decide to choose the bass. That's strange, but it's true. But then I say that I think it's the most beautiful sound of all the string instruments. I never change the sound of the bass with nothing else.
We all know that. No string instrument is as beautiful as we are.
I really like that. Yeah. But
did you know that Koussevitzky also was in the same position as you were? You share your legacy with him because he also was given the choice between double bass and bassoon. And his father said bass.
Yeah, true. I didn't know
it's the same story. Yeah. Maybe you're a reincarnation of Koussevitzky.
No, you are. You are the spirit of Koussevitzky.
You're right.
Yeah, you are.
So who was the professor you heard play that excited your ideas about sound?
Yeah, it was a professor of the Venice Theater of the Fenice. He was not a soloist. He was a very good musician with a beautiful sound. But at that time, double bass was not a very big technique. There was not big technique. All the studio was not easy to play. So it was not, but he was a big musician. I remember him when he said, when you play, for example, an orchestral thing, you have to play Mozart as Mozart, Beethoven as Beethoven, and Wagner as Wagner. He wanted to play, and he made to listen the very different way to play the different sounds, to play the different authors. And this was a new thing to me. And maybe still now it's not always. Now it's easy to find a good professor at that time. And then he was speaking also of the phrase, of the long phrases, and he always singing very, 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 very long phrases. And that was amazing with him. Not only his playing, but when he still remember the bow, still remember the grip of the bow, it's kind of Bottesini grip, and the sound was beautiful, it was natural, not strong, not natural, and everything seems to be easy. But he was not a soloist, he was not a great double bass player. To me, he was a great musician for real. Because when you play also studio, also billet, when you say one of the first billet, you always ask to play for music, also in a simple phrase. He didn't want you don't play without music. He didn't like that. He want to play music, always music. And then because then at the end you like to play. I began to really like to play, but my technique was not good. I was also at the end of the diploma. I play also kind of Bottesini, but was not good. The bow, my bow, it was enough good, enough, but not.
How about you?
I work very, very much after the diploma. I work and the practice a lot after that.
When you began, you said with playing guitar and electric bass. When you went to double bass, did it influence your approach, like left hand, for instance, after the guitar, after the electric bass? Did you do things that were different, or did it help you?
Yes. Also because I was playing rock music when I was young, and that opens my mind a lot. And then also to play guitar was a classic guitar. And for the left hand, it was strange to me because they put, I don't know which is the name in English, the elastic. I say elastico in Italian, to keep the
rubber
tree.
band. Rubber band.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that. At the beginning was this. So now technique is very, very, very hard. People play very, very good technique, but now I can play with all the hands. With all the fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you need to use, you have to use. You can't play with 3 or 2, and so it's a kind of also of school. I don't believe very much that if you have a school, you have to always play with 2 or always with 3. I don't like that. I mean, for me, it's not good. I don't. I play if the sound is better with 2, I put 2. If the sound is better with 3, I put 3. It depends from the sound, not from what I think. This is what always the sound first, and then fingers.
Oh, that's a wonderful approach. I think electric bass fingering is the best. That's what I use. It's fantastic, and then you use all fingers. I never understood Simondl. He waits until after you've accomplished all the lower positions, maybe 2 years later, suddenly you're using your third finger. It seems ridiculous. And Belay, same thing. He eliminates one finger. You should start with all 4 fingers.
Yes, but now with the repertoire that many people play, that is not easy. It's incredible that they are able to do sonata and of other instruments, a concerto of other instruments, like the concerto Mozart, concerto, a lot of great musicians. You have to also Bach, when you play Bach, the suite, you have to use 4 fingers, all the fingers. You can't use 3, 2. It's not a choice. You have to do that. If not, you don't play.
So what's your favorite finger?
My favorite is 2. Now it's 2. For the sound is 2.
Me too, but I can't show it to you. But it is my favorite. I get the best sound with my second finger. I love it.
That's it. I don't see. I another thing, and maybe I am not to say all these things, but they say also this one. I never wrote one finger in my parts. I have no fingers in my parts. Nothing. No. I don't know you, but no. If you find my parts are completely white. There is no colors, no fingers, and nothing. So because if I play something that is from a big author, I have to put the fingers. I have to not the fingers. I have to play the colors. But when you play something kind of transcription or something you like to play, then you the fingers comes alone. Then maybe you write a finger, and then you go to play maybe live, and the fingers you don't use the fingers you wrote down. At that moment, one finger comes and you say, this is the right finger.
Yeah.
And then you can, to me, this is to me, because it's my approach. I always had this kind of approach. Then some pieces that are difficult, kind of Bottesini, you have your fingers from here, and maybe you don't change it, but never wrote down. And my students wrote down the fingers. they wrote down. Sometimes they ask and they say, I know what to say. And they wrote down all the fingers. It's strange. My students are good students.
I never gave fingerings, only bowings. I always give bowings, but I never gave fingerings. Yeah,
I gave bowings too. Yeah, when they ask, when they see that something is not coming, maybe I give bowings. Yeah.
Tell us how you chose your program, which was so wonderful. Your video. How did you choose the music? Why did you choose the music? Tell us more about it. It was such a wonderful program.
I choose for the most Italian music because I see that when I go and play, it's a lyrical music for the most. You can see that. But maybe at the beginning I was playing more double bass music and looking for I say normal people doesn't mean that we double bass, we are not normal, but I say normal people, I say the people that always come to the concert that doesn't play an instrument. I say that's normal people, that people. Maybe they don't, when you play something that is strictly close to the bass, maybe they don't. I see that after one or two pieces that they were not very, very happy to stay. Then when you play something they know, something maybe they sing together when you are playing. Maybe L'intermezzo della cavalleria rusticana, everybody knows that, O mio babbino caro, that you play before me, and all this music at the end, it's make me happy playing and make also people happy listening, because they know that and they like to hear that music. Then at the end, or in this case, in half concert, but at the end usually I always put some Bottesini, because if not it's too much slow pieces. So sometimes I put also something. And then I choose this program because there is Vivaldi that is from Venice. Then there is a song from Naples, and all the music comes from Italy, from different compositors and different people. And I like to play that. I always choose kind of that when I do program. If not, then I can play Russian music, French music, but that's other programs. There are different programs. I like very much also French, Russian music, but in this case I choose this because in this last 2 years for the most I play this program.
There is a question in the chat from Angela Chavez. She asks, how did your moving on the stage begin? I've seen you live and remember that you started playing on the center of the stage and then started walking while you were playing, but your sound was not affected. Hello,
Angel. Angel is a friend of mine. Hello, Angel. How are you? It's nice to hear from Angel. It's a dear friend of mine.
Oh,
I don't know where. Ciao, Angel. Oh, happy to see you. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm still here in lockdown in Mexico, but
I'm sorry for that.
Everyone's good. We're still playing, so.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that. We stay one year and most in lockdown. Now they open. Finally, they open because it's hot, because of the vaccine, because of a lot of things. Anyway, do you see the concert when I lost the head pin? Maybe I don't know which concert was that. in which
I have seen a lot. I believe most of your videos on YouTube. You know, I love them all.
thank you
But
very much.
I see that's something that happen really often. You start walking, it is hilarious. You know, it sounds beautiful, but I'm always thinking, how that possible? How can he can just walk from some point to another? And sometimes I didn't realize you already walk because the sound is never affected.
But once once it happens that I have a problem with my hand pin. This is the true thing. And I was and it was going around the stage, and I had to walk because the bass was walking away, and it stopped at the end of the stage. So I was playing almost outside, and that was the first time that I was walking with the bass. Yeah, but it was not my choice. It was the double bass choice, not my choice. And that's I don't know why I don't know why the sound doesn't change, and because I feel the same sound when I play, but I don't know why outside doesn't change. I don't know. Maybe for the harmonics, I don't know. I always say also at the beginning that I look for the beauty of the sound. Not. I can say that this is a thing that we have noticed in all this year. That we can play also 2P pianissimo, because when we play pianissimo also during a concert, it happens that you can hear a big silence. If you can play pianissimo, also the people doesn't move, so there is nothing else that your pianissimo, and everybody can hear that. Because of the silence, it seems much more. And then if you have to play forte, it's okay, but you are able to play also pianissimo. And sometimes when you play pianissimo, the people stop to make noises if they are doing, because it's like music. They want to hear you. They want to hear you if you speak, and if you play slow, and if you play piano. They want to hear you, and they stop to do everything. So it happens a kind of magic sometimes, and that's beautiful while playing. But it's, especially when I begin, the first piece I always play Canción d'Amor, that Angel likes very much. My first piece is always Canción d'Amor, that is a Spanish transcription I've done. And when there is maybe an important concert, maybe a lot of people, I begin maybe not pianissimo, but after maybe 1 minute, I have to try pianissimo. And if I'm able to do pianissimo after 1 minute or 2 minutes, it means that I'm quiet. And also, if I'm not enough quiet, the silence makes me quiet. I can't explain in another way, but that's what happened. And they say that's magic thing that happens when you play. And I was a student very scary of playing. I was not, I didn't think I was able to play as a soloist one day. When I was student, I was, every time I had to play, I was very worried, but much more than worried. And also just finished the diploma, was always, sometimes my bow was shaking. And then it seems impossible to me. Then now I can go and play before everyone is a little bit worried, but there is a tension because you need that. But when I go on stage now, I'm quiet. And if you ask me why it happens in this year, I can for sure say that it's not because you made many concerts or some concerts and it's going better day by day. It's not that. I'm sure that it's not that. Someone happens in your life with the sound, it's kind of open a door, and that door you find the music, you find the sound, and you find a quiet place where you can stay also while you are on stage. That's what's happened to me.
It's so interesting when I play very pianissimo, the audience starts talking more. But you
I
have
can-
control. It's the way you convey your message, and I think that's what's so wonderful about you, because when you play, you're always telling us something with the music. You're always conveying some kind of message. You pull us into your whole world. Tell us more about that, because I know that must be your intention.
But it comes from inside. I don't know what's happened. When years ago, I also wrote a story. It was the Kingdom of Ibi-Obi. It was a little fairy tale. The
Yes,
only
we
thing I
have-
wrote.
I have it.
Yeah,
I have your stories. Yeah.
it was the only thing I wrote in my life. I didn't write nothing else. But that story, it happens why after when I was in conservatory, was teaching to one of my students and say, begins like that. Think that this prince and princess, they are dancing. And there was I think Tchaikovsky, a piece of Tchaikovsky. Then after that, I decided to do the program, a normal program for a recording. And then I see that each piece was telling a story to me, and imagine a story about each piece. And I bound all this piece with the fairy tale. With the fairy tale in the end, you can hear playing, and then a story, and it works like that to me. I don't know why. When I teach, I always tell stories to the students, and they understand much better how to play. When you say you have to imagine things, but not it's not an invention. It comes from the music.
Tell me, when you're playing, as you did, these wonderful pieces from Italian opera, are you thinking about the story?
No, I don't think about nothing. No. And, no. You know that in this video, this is a little bit sad, but I don't want anybody to become sad. It was said to me. I put my O mio bambino caro in this recording, and then at that concert, you can see my father was in the audience, and I know he was dying in a few months. I know that, and so that piece was for him. That piece was for him, and I put it at this time because I wanted to remember him like that. And I know that he was there at that moment, and that was every time I play this piece, I think to him. Okay, sorry for that.
No, I think that's why we responded with so much heart. I mean, you moved me so deeply when you played that, and now I know why.
I learned from you. You are maestro. You are my, yeah. You are my maestro. You are my real maestro. You always been like that. Always been like that. When you came to Switzerland, I sent me to you all my class. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I have 7 students. All to my, and I said you have to go to the maestro because now it's closed. Then it goes back to the USA, and they all came to you, and they were so happy. And we still have your picture in our classroom is still there, and they see that, and it was wonderful. They were very, very happy. So,
and they all have a great sense of humor. They are very funny people. I love them.
They are. They still are. Yeah.
Yeah. I see that Charlie is ready to give us a sign.
Well, I've given you the sign. But thank you all for coming to this session. It was really great. And Stefano, I want to tell you, I've never been to Italy, but after listening to you play, and I could really feel where I need to go. All right. Loved it.
I hope everybody could come soon, very soon to Italy, and they can go back traveling all the world, come back to the USA like once. And that especially the next one convention we will see each one in person like we have been for all these years. I see some messages coming here. I want to thank you everyone from the deepest part of my heart to listen to my music and for these beautiful words. Thank you very, very much. And so happy to see Maestro Garicar and everyone. Then I'm deeply moved inside. Thank you very much.
And thank you for sharing with us.
Yeah, it's
Much love. Much love.
We love you. We love you. Mwah, mwah.
Ciao, thank you very much. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.
Grazie. Grazie a tutti. Ciao.